Good morning, students. Today we will continue 7th lesson, that is evolution. So in this lesson today we will see that scientist Charles Darwin, he has given the theory of natural selection. Now according to this theory of natural selection, Darwin says that the nature selects the best fitted organism, and those organisms which are fit, they only survive, reproduce and continue their race. Now when Charles Darwin, he was going for sea voyage in HMS Beagle, he went to Galapagos Islands and there he studied different varieties of the organisms, and based on his studies he has given the theory of natural selection. As we have seen that the nature has got the power to select the best fit organisms, because the weak ones which are not able to survive will perish and only the fittest organisms will survive, continue to reproduce and will grow in their population size. Now this is the theory which is well accepted. Now what are the evidences that evolution has occurred? Till now we have seen that the Oparin and Helden has given the chemical evolution, biological evolution process. Then scientist Miller, he experimented and showed that yes, the same way the things or the reactions might have happened which have given rise to the new life. Now there are certain evidences which shows that yes, the evolution has occurred. The first one is considered as paleontological evidences. As you know that paleontology is the study of fossils. So the fossils which are obtained at different ages in the rock sediments, those fossils are studied and they show that the present day organisms have evolved from the earlier organisms. Now in that, still you might have read in the newspapers, the eggs of dinosaurs are obtained in the fossil form. So such evidences are called as paleontological evidences which support the evolution. Second is embryological evidences. It is said that the embryological development of all the vertebrates, during that embryological development, certain stages are common to all the life vertebrates, which these, like for example vestigial gill slits. In all the vertebrates, during embryological development, vestigial gill slits are found, but these are not found in the adult animals. Though the adult animal is not having gill slits, still during the embryological development, the gill slits will be seen during this. So this is the second. The third is called as comparative anatomy and morphology. We know that anatomy is the study of internal structures and morphology is the external characters when they are studied, that is called as morphology. So the present day organisms and the earlier one, they show certain similarities, and such similarities are because they have common ancestor. From one common ancestor, the earlier organisms have developed, and the same ancestor, the present day organisms are also developed. So as they share the common ancestors, they have similar anatomy and morphological characters. Now when this part, anatomy and morphology of different organisms was studied, one more term which has come into existence, that is homologous organs. If we observe the forelimbs though the habitat of these organisms is different, their way of locomotion is also different, but still they have the same structure, skeletal structure in their forelimbs. So such organs are called as homologous organs. Now here different adaptations of organisms have developed into different directions. So why whale has, whale, as you know that it is a aquatic animal, so it will have fins. So for the adaptation of aquatic habitat, it has fins, but the fins will show you the presence of all these skeletal structures. Same way bat, it is aerial, so it has a different adaptation, and human beings, they are having a different way of locomotion, and for that they all have different directions in which these organs are developed according to their habitat. But the basic structure remains the same, and that is why they are called as homologous organs. This is called as divergent evolution because it is developed for different directions. Though the structure is same, the same structure, skeletal structure has developed into fins for whales to get adapted to aquatic environment, for bat, wings, and for human beings, legs or arms you can say. So that is what this type of divergent evolution is seen in this. Now let us come to the example of plants. In plant group also we can see the homology. In bougainvillea you can see thorns, and in cucurbita the tendrils are there. Both these structures they develop from axillary bud, but their functions are different. In thorns the function is protection, and in cucurbita the tendrils help for climbing, or that is the support. So though the functions are different, they develop from the same structure as it is here. All these structures are the same but are adapted to different functions. So same way in plant we can say bougainvillea, it has thorns for protection and cucurbita has tendrils for climbing or support, but both of them they develop from the same structure, that is axillary buds. Now for all these you can refer the diagram 7.3 which shows the pictures of all these, and please prepare this well because generally the question is asked, 2 marks question is asked on this homologous organs. Now the another term is analogous organs. Now in this case the functions are similar but anatomically different structures are there, just opposite of this. In homologous organs the anatomical structure remains the same but the functions are different. In analogous organs it is just opposite, they are having similar function but anatomically different, and hence these analogous organs are considered as the example of convergent evolution. Now the examples are wings of butterfly and bird. Both the organisms, one is insect and other is ape or bird. Both of them are belonging to different groups, both have wings but the function is same, that is flying. Both organisms use the same function, flying, but anatomically it is different. The butterfly, wings of butterfly, they develop from the induments, the bird. So their anatomical structure is totally different, but they do similar function, and hence these analogous organs show convergent evolution. The another examples of these analogous organs are eye of octopus and mammal. The basic function of an eye is vision. That is the same, function is same, but anatomically the structure of octopus eye and the mammal eye is different. We have cornea in our eye structure. The octopus eye does not have cornea. Our lens changes according to the focusing on the distant object or the nearer object. Size of the lens changes, eye lens. That cannot happen in case of octopus. So there are basic certain anatomical differences in the eye of octopus and mammal, but as they are doing the same function, this is considered as the example of analogous organ. Same way, flippers of penguin and dolphin. Both organisms are belonging to different groups. Penguin belongs to birds, dolphin belongs to mammal. So both of them, they are having different habitat, but the function of the flippers is the same, though the structure anatomically, the flipper structure is different. In case of plants, we can also see the analogous organ structure. Sweet potato, it is the modification of root for storage of food. And potato, again the same function, storage of food, but it is a stem. So anatomically the structure is different. Here it is a root, but both do the same function, that is storage of food. So function is similar, but anatomically one is root, the other is stem, and hence this is the example of analogous organs. Now the scientists have studied melanic moth population in England before industrialization has occurred and after the industrialization has occurred. There are two types of moth. Melanic moth, this is the black one, and the other is white colored moth. These two moths, the number was seen different in different conditions. Before industrialization, the number of white moth was more, and the melanic moth, that is black in color, they were less in number. So in those days, the melanic moth was identified very easily because the tree bark was covered with lichen, and lichen being lighter white in color, these white colored moths could hide in better way with that lichen on the tree. On that background, these melanic moths would be identified by the predators, and hence the number of melanic moth was less before industrialization. Now, after industrialization, because of the development or industrial gases, carbon and all that, whatever air pollution has occurred, because of that, the tree bark was covered with carbon or soot, you can say. And because of that, now the color of the bark does not remain white, it has turned to blackish, and hence now this was advantageous to the melanic moth or the black colored one. Now this population increased after industrialization because they can merge with that blackish colored tree bark very well and could not be identified by the predators. Predators can easily identify the white moth, and the white moth population decreased after industrialization. So, according to Darwin's principle of natural selection, here, though the population was mixed population, white and black, that is melanic moth and white moth population, in that also, because of the changes in the conditions, there once it was the time for white moths to show highest population, and after industrialization, melanic moth population was seen the more in number, and this is according to the natural selection. Now one more term we have to see, that is adaptive radiation. We can say that this is a process of evolution of different species in a given area, starting from a point and radiating to other areas. That means if the organism is present, one particular organism is present in a given geographical area, the changes in that geographical area, the natural changes, whatever occur, give rise to a different variety or different species of the organism which was existing in that area earlier. With some changes, it gives rise to the another species, and that is called as adaptive radiations, because the changes are such that those changes help the organism to get adapted to the changed conditions. Here the well-known example is of Darwin's finches. When Darwin visited Galapagos Island, he found that there are some small birds, finches. So he found that there are different species of the finches, and the property which was different was change in the beak. Shape of the beak was different for these different finches. So he studied all that, and he came to the conclusion that because the original organisms or the finches were seed eating finches, from this original one, that is the one starting point, it gave rise to the insect eating, then it gave rise to the others, you can say fruit eating, like that in different directions this has developed. So this is the example of adaptive radiation. So Darwin's finches, which have different shape of beaks, because for eating the seeds it will be a different type of beak. For insect eating, the beak should be able to grasp the organism, hold it properly. For fruit eater finches, the beak should be little bit bent, like we see in case of parrot, because they have to open up the fruit. So the shape of beak is different. It is adapted to the eating habits of that particular organism, and the main thing is that all this he saw in a given area, that is on the Galapagos Island. He observed this in a particular given area, and from a point radiating to the other area. So this is seed eating developed a new species of finch. Presently, you can say there are about 26 different species of finches found, and all these are because of the adaptive radiation. The another best example is Australian marsupials. We are well known with the kangaroo. When we say about Australia, immediately we think of a kangaroo. As you know that kangaroo is a marsupial. What do you mean by marsupial? There are two different groups, placental mammals and marsupials. In these marsupials, the baby is born earlier and it is suckled or it is developed into the pouch which is there on the mother's belly. So in that pouch, the baby, small baby which is incompletely developed, not yet fully developed, such a baby is taken care of in the bag or pouch which is on the mother's belly. Such organisms are called as marsupials. Now, in Australia, we see different types of organisms. Please refer figure 7.7. You will get many names over there. So, from in that, you have a common mole organism and you have a marsupial mole. Same way, a normal wolf, mammal, is there and its counterpart like marsupial is also there. So there are different organisms. They have developed from a simple point or a single point in a given area, that is only in Australian continent you can see that, and they have given in different organisms from them. So this is also considered as adaptive radiation. So Darwin's finches and Australian marsupials are the two examples of adaptive radiations. Next time we will see the next part of the lesson. Thank you.